Bathroom movie time. I don't think many people would disagree that Christopher Nolan is one of the greatest directors of our time. I put him up there with Ridley Scott, James Cameron, some other good directors I'm not thinking of. And honestly, I haven't seen a Christopher Nolan movie I haven't liked. I haven't seen Tenet. That's the one I still need to watch, and I've heard polarizing views. But I just saw his newest film and maybe one of his most ambitious, The Odyssey. This is an adaptation of Homer's ancient Greek epic poem, The Odyssey. Matt Damon stars as Odysseus, our main character, and the Greek king of Ithaca. It chronicles his long and perilous journey home after the Trojan War and his encounters with mythical beings as he attempts to reunite with his wife, Penelope. I was not as excited as everyone else about this movie. The part that got me excited was that, we get a cool Greek action movie and it's Christopher Nolan. But I think I was just worried because it's such an interesting story. And not worried that Christopher Nolan wouldn't do well because it's Christopher Nolan. I just wasn't sure if I would come out enjoying it as much as I wanted to. So the question is, was it good? No, it wasn't good. It was great. It was magical. If there's a rating of toilets, it would be the bidet. Sorry, buddy. The best. But I've got a lot of thoughts, so let's get into it. There were a few things I was unsure about at first, one of them being all the famous actors. I saw the trailers. There was so much controversy. It didn't bother me. I was like, you know what? I'll give it a chance. But for the first 30 to 40 minutes of the film, it did throw me off. Because for a moment, I'm like, are we just casting famous actors just for the sake that they're famous? Because we've all seen those movies where it's kind of distracting because you're like, oh, I don't really believe you're this character because you're Tom Cruise or Brad Pitt or whoever. Well, Nolan knows what he's doing because after the first hour, and this is like a 3-hour movie, basically completely forgot that these people were famous and I was locked into the story because they did such a good job. I can't think of one actor in there that felt like they were playing themselves. But for reals, if you played the game of try to find an actor you don't know, might be a little difficult because there were so many big names. Just to name a few, obviously we got Matt Damon, Tom Holland, Anne Hathaway, Robert Pattinson, Zendaya, Lupita Nyong'o, and there's plenty more. Oh, and John Bernthal, which was awesome. As far as visuals go and the appeal of the camera work, Nolan is always the best. I don't think there's any argument there. It just feels like you're watching a beautiful story, just like you're watching art. And I don't really like art, but it's just so good. I also love that when I watch Christopher Nolan movies, I never feel like I'm watching CGI. Some of the recent Marvel movies, it's like, yeah, that's definitely looks like a video game. Yeah, sure, let's just throw in some CGI animals when we could have had real animals. This is where Christopher Nolan doesn't make excuses and he takes the time to make it look authentic. He uses so many practical effects that even in this movie where there's monsters and gods and just crazy ocean scenes, it never felt fake. For those of you that know the story and saw the trailer, we get a giant cyclops. And that might be the only moment where it's borderline, okay, obviously there's a few visual effects you can tell going on, but still in the realm where it looks real. Another thing they did really well was with all the mythical creatures and monsters. Oftentimes when you see movies like this, sometimes maybe they don't have the budget, I don't know, but they don't show you the monsters that clearly. They show you just a little bit and it's just annoying. It's like, I just want to see more. What do they look like? This movie lets you see them, but also doesn't let you see them too much where it gets rid of the mystery and the suspense. It was the perfect balance. Basically, I guess, they showed you just enough of the monsters, but not too much, but you also don't feel like you were cheated out of seeing what they looked like. The other thing, which usually I wouldn't love, I don't always love when I watch a movie and there's a bunch of little stories within one movie. It feels more like a TV series, and I'm like, at times it's ruined the cinematic feeling for me. But with this one, it was awesome. I get a big epic movie, literally an epic. Does that just apply to poems or also books? Because the Odyssey is both, but it's still an epic. Anyways, you get one big movie, but you have multiple little stories that show you so many characters and traumatic moments and monsters, and I love that. It felt like I was getting a whole season of a show, but in a movie, but it still felt like one story. So I've already talked about how well the actors and actresses did. Top tier. It's been a long time since I saw a movie where I feel like every person just did a 10 out of 10 job. But the other thing that was interesting is we have a lot of side characters, his whole crew, right? It starts with hundreds and then it gets down to these 20 or 30 guys, and I didn't know them by name, but it feels like I did. I cared about them. It's almost like his crew and all these side characters were their own one character, and throughout the story when you see a lot of them go, it's just kind of heart-wrenching. They've been with me for so long on this journey. And oftentimes movies nowadays I feel like don't make you feel that for all the extras, but in this one it hits. And then Odysseus himself, Matt Damon, I wasn't sure about. I wasn't disappointed, but I'm like, okay, interesting choice. But he nailed it. And it's a different type of story. And I think Matt Damon really portrays that. And Christopher Nolan probably helped bring it out. He's somewhat of a heroic figure, but he has so many shortcomings and flaws also. And you see him make these mistakes. But it makes you like him that much more because it's so relatable. I'm like, okay, this guy is legendary. Not because he's untouchable, but because you see him with regrets. You see him sorrowful or feeling bad for the people he's lost. Guys, this movie was so good. I don't really have any critiques for it. The only things that at first threw me off a little bit were, one, everyone sounds American. This wasn't bad, but for the first little bit, it did throw me off. I'm like, wait, where's the accents? Like, everybody just sounds the same. But it really wasn't a big deal. Once again, the story overshadowed that. Didn't bother me. Then at times, some of the dialogue felt a little dry. Not with what was said, but how it was said. But then I had to remember, wait, this is a cinematic movie, but it's also a poetic, epic book that we're basing it on. So I think Christopher Nolan did really good at times. It feels like just real life talking, cinematic. And then other times it feels like Matt Damon's just quoting poetry, but it sounds kind of robotic. But that was on purpose. It's not because he lacks the acting skills. It's just at times they want to just make you feel the poetic vision. There's one more big thing that I thought was very interesting. So just hear me out. It might throw you off at first. There wasn't really any huge, just emotional climax moments for me in the movie, as far as where like I'm down here and then all of a sudden there's this big heartfelt or intense moment where I just feel it. Because a lot of movies, it's kind of a base level and then you have a big climax, maybe 1 or 2 times, 3 if you're lucky. And this one, I never really felt that hit, but it's because you're smothered in this just intense, epic story the whole time. Like you never really come out of the on the edge of your seat experience. So not that it's always just here at a top climax, but they just kind of bury you in this wild adventure. It's hard to explain. If someone can put what I'm trying to say into words in the comments better, please help. Have you guys seen this movie? Did you like it as much as I did? Did you have any issues with the casting or anything else that people were worried about? And let me know also, what is your favorite Christopher Nolan movie? I'm about to do a ranking, so I'd be curious what you guys think. As always, thanks for joining me in the bathroom, and we'll catch you next time.